Today was nice. Hello, and welcome back to another video. I'm your beautiful host, Young Buffett, and I am coming to you with a CLOV recap. Today, we're going to talk about the public sentiment, what people are talking about, what they're thinking, and how the stock prices are moving. We're going to take a look at Max Pain for this week. We've been documenting to see where the stock closes in conjunction to what the max pain for the options are. And we're going to take a look at dark pool data. We're going to take a look at a big whale who just bought CLOV. We'll take a look at the intraday movements, why it went up, and how it's all reacting. So hang in there. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We do this almost every day. So jumping into Ape Wisdom. Ape Wisdom covers Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stocks, stock market, investing, SPACs, and options and day trading subreddits. So it scrapes all of that data and all of that information, and it spits out the most talked about tickers on Reddit in the past 24 hours. Number one being SPY. Literally for 3 weeks now, SPY has been the number one most talked about ticker on all of those Reddits that we just listed off. So overall, day after day, they're just breaking records with a 64% positive sentiment on Reddit. So that's great. NVIDIA, they had their earnings and then it's just been doing well. So 73% positive sentiment on there. They just keep killing it. Pfizer just got FDA approval today, so they had a killer day. Overall, 72% positive sentiment. Then you got GameStop, Alibaba. Alibaba's just been getting wrecked. That China drama is a lot for them. So people are talking about that. I'm curious. 56% positive sentiment. Yeah. I would stay away. None of this is financial advice. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of security or investment, but that's what I'm doing. I'm staying away from all China stocks. Then we got AMC, AMD, Tesla, and CLOV, number 9. So last week, CLOV was a little bit higher up, but now we're number 9. It's overall 75% public sentiment, positive public sentiment. That's actually one of the highest that I've seen in a while for CLOV. Again, we've been documenting our journey here and tracking it for a while now. I don't even know how many days it's been. I should check that. But overall public sentiment, 75% positive public sentiment. The nearby words including wish, bought, up, even, out, holding, time, Morgan, moon, ISN, doing, Stanley, sold, CLNE, right. So overall, pretty positive public sentiment. Overall, people are talking about it, so that's always good to see. Then I like to jump into Wall Street Bets and see what these guys are talking about. Number 1 being NVIDIA, then PFE, then BABA, then Tesla, then AMD, Wish, Palantir, Apple, then we got CLOV. So comment volume is kind of picking up on Wall Street Bets. But this is the chart that I like to take a look at. So look at this. The stock price shoots up and so does the comment volume. But it seems like this time the comment volume shot up first and then the stock price shot up. Typically, what we've seen is the stock price shoots up, as you can see in this little thing right here. Then people start to talk about it. But as of recently, people started talking about it and then the stock price started shooting up. I don't know if maybe that's because it was over the weekend where people were talking about it. And then on Monday when it opens, the stock price follows. So that's something interesting I want to keep track of. But anyways, Max Pain. Again, we've been tracking Max Pain. We tracked it last week. I want to see if CLOV closes at or near or below or where. How does CLOV move in conjunction with the Max Pain? The reason why I wonder this is because CLOV is so manipulated and so controlled, and you can tell by its movements. I want to see if market makers are able to control the stock price to hit Max Pain every single week. Last week, it was just below the Max Pain, which I guess is fine because They're causing a lot of damage to the calls. But by the way, if you don't know what max pain is the strike price that the stock needs to be at to cause the most financial damage to everybody who's holding calls and puts. For example, you can see a ton of people over here own the $4 puts and a ton of people own the $17 calls, and everything else is mixed in, right? Where does the stock price need to be by the end of the week for the most amount of calls and puts to expire worthless? The max pain is 8. So if CLOV closes at 8, that's a tongue twister. If CLOV closes at 8, then it will cause the most puts and the most calls to expire worthless. So we're keeping track on that. We're going to see how it plays out. Another thing that we watch, dark pools. Hasn't really changed much. It just keeps bouncing up and down just a little bit. The net short volume is negative 2.437 million. The net short volume in dollars is negative 18.887 million. So overall, again, as always, still shorted, still manipulated, still interesting. And yeah. We don't know what's going on. It's a dark pool. I don't know. What else do you want me to say? That it is what it is. And then Morgan Stanley, good old Al Trades, tweeted out CLOV upgrade soon. Morgan Stanley bought almost 1 million shares. So as you can see, Morgan Stanley bought almost 1 million shares 3 days ago, which is fantastic news because the more institutions like these guys buying into CLOV, the more it sets a floor. And the more it sets, think of it as like a support level, where if these big boys have that many shares at a certain price, usually you won't see the stock price go too far below that price. They have billions of dollars, they have millions of dollars invested in researching and making sure that their risk analysis makes sense. They know when to buy most of the time. You and I, we're just a bunch of kids. And I don't care if you're 25. I don't care if you're 45. We're just a bunch of kids compared to these guys, looking at stocks and looking at numbers and charts and seeing, does this make sense for my personal financial situation? And I want to invest X amount of money in this, and maybe it'll go up, and hopefully it'll go up. It's manipulated, it's short squeezed, it's whatever. If these guys are buying it, that's a great sign. So that's what I wanted to emphasize. And if you remember, if you've been following along, I think it was last week, I don't remember in what video. I should really remember these things. But I mentioned if CLOV gets a lot of positive news articles. So I think we found one on Seeking Alpha or something. It was talking about how CLOV is potentially gonna double or something like that. It was a news article that talked about CLOV, and it was a bullish article, right? I said you're probably gonna start seeing more and more of these bullish articles because these bigger institutions are gonna start buying into it if they haven't already. So that happens to be the case here. When these big boys start buying into it, you'll oftentimes see journalists and other people say how bullish of a investment or how good of an investment this stock could be. Because if these guys invest in it, it's most likely going to be. And then those journalists like to say that they also said that, and then the stock price goes up. That's just what I've seen. I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes sense in my brain. CLOV today did fantastic, 4.77%. Real quick though, actually, so did AMC. AMC went up 6.89% and GME went up 3.51%. The reason why I like to talk about these three is because it's just interesting to see how different meme stocks or stocks that are heavily manipulated or stocks that are shorted or stocks that are subject to gamma squeezes and stuff like that, how those stocks actually move together. It's in a way a sympathy play to one another. So for example, if AMC just decides to skyrocket, that's going to take GME, CLOV, BlackBerry, Nokia, Bed Bath & Beyond, all of these other, Wish, Sophie, all of these other like highly shorted and manipulated stocks tend to follow what the other stocks do as well. You can even look at the all-time charts for all of those stocks, and they all peaked at the same time and came right back down to the same place. So keep that in mind. That's not always the case. Historical data is not always indicative of future price movement. So keep that in mind when you're doing your own research, but it's just cool to watch those type of sympathy plays in action. CLOV opened up, skyrocketed, came back down, consolidated, closed. That's it. They had a great day today. That's all you need to know. Looking at the options, a lot of crazy volume on here. Again, I like to take a look at the options volume and see where people are putting their money and where people think the stock price will go. We are still holding the September 17 calls, and we're down a little bit on them, but that's fine. I'm just going to hold it. I don't really care. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I got this call for free because I sold puts and then I used the put premium to buy calls. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what I did. But anyways, that's why I document my journey. So if I don't remember anything, I can always look back at my old YouTube videos. Which, by the way, if you're not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. I love you. Thank you. A lot of volume on this week's. Some crazy people bought the 17. Some other crazy people bought the 16, 15, 14, 13 and a half. But the volume really picks up when you look at the 12, the 11, the 10, the 9, and the 8, and the in the monies, the 8s. So if you buy an in the money call, by the way, you can expect a dollar for dollar movement most of the time. I think that's the case because it's representative of 100 shares. So if CLOV goes to 9, you can expect the 8 calls to be worth 135. If CLOV goes to 10, that'll be 235, I believe. So keep that in mind when you're taking a look at options. Historically speaking, though, stay away from options. Again, none of this is financial advice or recommendations, but that's what I am going to do. If you want to look into increasing your position here, these prices do make sense. I don't want to see CLOV going anywhere below 8 ever again. The 7s and the 6s get really scary. But honestly, where else is it going to go? If it goes to 6, is it really going to go to 5? Really? Like, think about it. The fundamentals alone on this stock, it has to be. Imagine there was no short pressure or anything like that, right? This stock just has to be anywhere from like $12 to $16 just naturally. That's just my opinion. It makes sense to me. If you look at their competitors, the market cap, the technology, their growth, their earnings. I have a video that breaks down their whole earnings and stuff like that. Either way, I like the stock. I like the company. I'm in it for the long term, playing it for the short and mid-term, providing options and tools and strategies on how to navigate this profitably, selling puts when it's down, looking into selling calls when it's up a lot and the call premium is juicy. I guess we're just going to have to see where it ends up. If you're into that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next video. I love you. That's pretty much it.